because I listened to Senator Clinton's closing remarks, and they sounded hauntingly familiar to me. And sure enough, we went back and checked, and this is what we discovered. Here's Senator Clinton and her husband, Bill Clinton, Senator Clinton and John Edwards. Let's watch.
You know, the hits I've taken in life are nothing compared to what goes on every single day in the lives of people across our country.
The hits that I took in this election are nothing compared to the hits that the people of this state and this country are taking every day of their lives.
Whatever happens, we're going to be fine. You know, we have strong support from our families and our friends. I just hope that we'll be able to say the same thing about the American people. And that's what this election should be about.
What's not at stake are any of us. All of us are going to be just fine, no matter what happens in this election. But what's at stake is whether America is going to be fine.
Economy works for everyone. Jimmy Carter, 32 years ago, I see an America with a job for every man, woman, and child. Bill Sapphire wrote about this in 1987, former speechwriter for Richard Nixon. He said, I always admired Franklin Roosevelt's use of the repeated I see construction. Working with writers Samuel Rosamond and Robert Sherwood in 1940, FDR collaborated on a speech that used I see to frame an inspiring vision. I see an America where factory workers are not discarded after they reach their prime. I see an America whose rivers and valleys and lakes are protected as the rightful heritage of all people. I see an America devoted to our freedom. Working as a speechwriter for Richard Nixon, I thought, why not lift it? Sure enough, Nixon gave a speech saying, I see a day when Americans, just like Carter, just like Clinton. So then Sapphire acknowledges this. After that speech, I felt a little pang of guilt. I called Sam Rosamond up to fess up to using that I see construction, and he and Bobby Sherwood had written for Roosevelt. And this is what Rosamond said. Quote, check Robert Ingersoll, 10 years after the Civil War. I tracked down the speech. There was the source of FDR's I see in an Ingersoll speech in '76. I see our country filled with happy homes. I see a world where crones have crumbled. I see a world where labor reaps its full reward. This is Ingersoll, who nominated Samuel Blaine for president in 1876. Rutherford B. Hayes won the nomination. Doris Kearns Goodwin, I see that politicians have a way of borrowing from one another.
Well, look, just as these politicians on the campaign trail are borrowing and absorbing patterns and evolving, so too speechwriters. They look at the best speeches in history. It's inevitable that those patterns are going to get in their heads. You know, and we can't make too much of this.